is of the natural order. The miracle is there are no miracles. Understand this paradox. The natural order doesn't interrupt itself. The sun doesn't stand still at midday. God doesn't catch a child as the kid falls out of a window, or heal lepers randomly. And none of that ever happens. The miracle is there's a force that holds it all together that's consistent and unvarying. That's wonderful. Okay, he may show there's a mind somewhere in the universe. But to say we know what that mind is, to move from the deist position to the theist one, we know what God wants us to eat or not eat. We know in what positions he wants us to make love or with whom. We know his instructions on it, is an unbelievable piece of conceit. And in my opinion, it's the reason why I may be a very poor spokesman for my side of this argument, but I think anyone who thinks about it has to vote that given the amount of uncertainty that we have, and given how much we now know, how much more we know about how little we know, the definition of education and our civilization, the only people who have to lose in this argument are those who say they do know, and who claim, yes, I do know what God wants, I do think he sent a son, I do think there was a resurrection, I do think there's salvation, claiming to know things they cannot conceivably know. I mean, to put it in a mild way, if Dr. McGrath has such extraordinary sources of information as the ones he's claimed to have available to him, I can't understand why he's only occupying a chair at Oxford University.
Well,
you should be, with the knowledge you've got, you should be a real mensch. And I'm afraid you don't know any more than I do about whether there was ever a Jesus of Nazareth, a resurrection, a miracle, a virgin birth, or anything. You couldn't know any more than I do. You can't. You just claim that you do. I'm afraid that means, I think, that you lose this round.
Well, if I could respond, to deal with the first point before we came on to that second one, I don't think it's at all solipsistic to say, let's reflect on why we are here. Let's reflect on why there is something rather than nothing. It's to ask a very important question about how the universe came into being. Why is there something rather than nothing? I mean, for Wittgenstein, that was a hugely important question. And it seems to me to be entirely right to answer that question, or at least to try and answer it. On my own status, I mean, I appreciate very much the compliment you pay, but I'm simply making the point that all of us are interpreters of what we observe. I made it very, very clear. I was not making any claims to special knowledge. I was looking at what I saw, what others say. I interpret it in this way. I claim no privilege. I say it is my judgment that this is the best explanation, and it means this, and I'm open to challenge on this, as you have challenged me. But I'm not claiming anything special. I'm saying there are public events there. They are open to interpretation, as they were at the time. And the issue really is, what is the best explanation of those? And I think that is a legitimate debate. I've made it very clear what my conclusion is. I've made it clear it is a matter of faith and that I cannot prove this. But I've also suggested that whatever judgment we make on this is actually a matter of faith. And therefore, while I'm very happy to be challenged on this, I think I'm still entitled to say that this seems to me to be the best way of making sense of it and live my life out on its basis.
Thank you. All right. Go back down.
Come to you both.
Thank you, sir.
Dear chap.
Thank you, Christopher.
Michael.
Good job, buddy.
Really?
Hold it, don't leave yet. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been taped. It's been videotaped. There'll be a DVD. It'll be up on the internet site of the Ethics and Public Policy Center, we think, by sometime next week. So we encourage you to go to that site, and if you want to watch it again or tell your friends about it, feel free. Again, I want to underline, I think we ought to do this again.
Sure thing. Yes, sir. Inshallah.